Yup. Zack Snyder's Justice League released in 2021 exclusively on HBO Max and is 100% directed and is the prime vision of Zack Snyder, who started the whole DCEU back in 2013 with Man of Steel and continued in 2016 with Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. And this film, of course, is starring Ben Affleck, Gal Gadot, Ray Fisher, Jason Momoa, Ezra Miller, and the returning Henry Cavill, who is clean-shaven and mustache CGI jawless. Thank God. And this is a very interesting circumstance here that I'm reviewing this film on this channel, because I've already reviewed this film kind of last year with my review of the theatrical cut of Justice League. But when you say the words Justice League together, that should tell you that, oh my god, this is going to be a huge blockbuster, this is going to do over $1 billion, definitely, and it's going to be the biggest tentpole film if they're launching this DCEU, this DC Cinematic Universe. This is going to be one of the most amazing things they're going to do, right? Sadly, that film turned out to be what it was, and only did something like $94 million opening weekend. When it comes to a big blockbuster film like that, that is embarrassing. But it's also interesting because the core of that film, and I mean the core of the film, the core, like a little P of the entire film that we got here with Zack Snyder's full Justice League, is still the same. A long time ago, these giant cubes, known as mother boxes, were left here on Earth. One was given to the Amazons, to the humans, and to the Atlanteans, and they remained hidden for thousands of years. Enter in the alien Steppenwolf, who is here to reclaim the mother boxes, and to take over this world for his master Darkseid, and the only people who can stop him are a ragtag group of a bunch of misfits: Batman, Wonder Woman, Cyborg, Aquaman, The Flash, and the newly resurrected Superman. So when we're talking about that core, basic, surface-level aspect, it's the same movie as what we got here with Zack Snyder's Justice League. However, Zack Snyder's version is miles, light years, galaxies beyond better than that theatrical version. And I don't want to address just all of the people out there that have been following this over the last 4 or 5 years. There are people out there that actually have no idea what this is, or thinking that, oh, this is a sequel to that movie from 2017, or they have no idea what the whole Snyder Cuts, release the Snyder Cut movement was. I was actually talking about my excitement for the release of this film with a friend from work, and he's saying, what is that? I don't know what that is. What are they doing? So let me give you a brief history lesson. Batman v Superman was released in March of 2016, and needless to say, it bombed with the critics. And for what seemed to be, to me, at least at the time, was that the majority of people out there did not like that movie. But Zack Snyder started shooting and working on Justice League about 2 weeks after the initial release of Batman v Superman, so Warner Brothers really didn't have enough time to say, hey, Zack, you're fired, we don't like your vision, and we're gonna do something else here. Zack was able to continue shooting and shot this entire movie. But then in early 2017, he and his wife Debbie had to go through something that I can't even imagine the pain and the sorrow that goes along with it. But their adopted daughter, Autumn, committed suicide. I only recently found out that both of them actually tried to continue working on this film for about 2 months after her passing, which they're both very brave people. I definitely would not have had the strength to do something like that. But it got to the point where Snyder was just so heartbroken and just couldn't take fighting with the studio and fighting all of the corporate people that they were sending out to try to lighten up the atmosphere of the film, because they didn't want it to be as dark as Batman v Superman. God forbid we have darkness in a film. So they left the project, and Warner Brothers was like, ooh, yay! Now we can finally make our own Avengers movie. Let's bring in Joss Whedon. So Joss Whedon came in, and what seemed to be at the time thought that he was just gonna finish what Zack Snyder had started and just complete all of the scenes, but come to find out, he actually cut and rewrote about 80 to 90% of the entire fucking film. And then it's released, and you can tell that the cinematography, the lighting, is off. There are very terrible reaches at comedic lines in that movie that just don't work for this universe that was already established 2 movies prior, that just It didn't feel right. The Flash was talking about brunch and Pet Cemetery, and he was annoying as hell. Not to mention, Henry Cavill was contractually obligated to keep his mustache for the film Mission Impossible Fallout, so they CGI'd a fake plastic jaw to put over his face to say all the shitty dialogue that Whedon created, and you know, at the time I was forgiving of it, but now it's just not good at all. And several months after the film's release, Zack Snyder starts posting just a couple of pictures of production, and the audiences, his fans, are realizing that these pictures are of this movie, but they were not in the theatrical version. What the hell? What was changed? And then slowly over time, he starts revealing a little bit more, and a little bit more, and a little bit more. And us fans are like, well there's a different movie here. Do you have your own cut of Justice League, Zack Snyder? And he did confirm that, yes, he does have a completed version, or at least a realized version, of Justice League. So now fans all over Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and the Comic-Con world, cosplayers are all begging and really protesting Warner Brothers until they finally released and agreed to release Zack Snyder's original full version of Justice League, which is what we got here this week. And there are some people out there who think, well, the people were just bullying the studio and they were harassing the studio online, and any type of harassment online is just not tolerable. And I agree with that. If you're harassing other people online, if you're cyberbullying other people online, that's absolutely deplorable and you shouldn't do that. The difference here, though, is that we were doing that to a movie studio. We weren't attacking anyone specifically. It was, hey, Warner Brothers, you did this wrong to Zack Snyder. He has this whole version. We want to see that. We want to see the continuation from Man of Steel and Batman v Superman. We want to see that realized. And you know what? He went through a terrible tragedy. He deserves, as an artist, to be able to share his art with the world, and you took that from him. Please give it to us. Until eventually they decided to. And what we got was this 4-hour masterpiece of a film. I don't want to get too deep into spoilers. I really want people to just watch and experience this for themselves. I say 4 hours, it does not feel like 4 hours. Yes, the pacing at first is a little slow, but it's all developing the story and developing these new characters that are being introduced to this world. Something that we didn't get in the original Justice League that was mandated to be no more than 2 hours. For whatever fucking reason. So here we have the entire backstory of Cyborg. We get his character flushed out, and he becomes the heart of the film. Ray Fisher is the standout, the golden shining star of this movie, and I want to see him with his Cyborg character in so many other projects. He has been very vocal about accountability over entertainment and the abuse, mental abuse and verbal abuse that he suffered on the set of the reshoots of Justice League with Joss Whedon and a bunch of the other corporate execs of Warner Brothers. So legally, I don't know if we are going to get that from him, but god damn it, he's the heart of this movie, and he got me here so many times. As I said before, the Flash in the theatrical version is just this annoying little shit who's trying to say the funny lines because we need to have the funny guy, and it just didn't work for him. Here, yes, he does have some attempts at comedy, but it's very heartfelt this time. He's not made out in this film to be this scared coward who doesn't want to do battle, even though he agrees to sign up and become part of this league. Something that I never understood from the theatrical version in there when he's talking about, I don't do battle. Oh, what did you think you were getting yourself into when you joined up with Batman and Wonder Woman? And we get a little bit more from Jason Momoa's Aquaman. Willem Dafoe shows up here. Amber Heard appears again. She has this strange British accent, which, I'll be honest, I was not a fan of, but still he feels more like he's a part of the team and he's actually doing something as opposed to what happened in 2017. Wonder Woman has her character fleshed out a little bit more. The Stones, Victor's parents, they're here, and you get the backstory and his hatred towards his father and the love that he had for his mother, who always supported him even though he was not the best of kids, as we find out. And Batman is not a prick. He is not an asshole in this movie. I just sat there on the couch today watching this film, just in my mind saying, oh my god, thank you, Zack Snyder, for realizing these characters true to form, and shame on you, Warner Brothers, for what you did to this man, to his family, to all the artists who served on the original production of the film. shame on you for what you did. Fabian Wagner, who's the cinematographer of this movie, but back in 2017, he said, I cried watching the theatrical version, not because it was beautiful, but because they just chopped up all of my work, and it was not fun. Junkie XL, who did the score for Batman v Superman, returns with this magnificent, beautiful, badass score for this movie. Thank God. I love Danny Elfman as a composer, and there are some songs in the theatrical version that I really like. I really like the theme that he had for the opening logos. It's a theme that actually sometimes I can't get out of my head. But this score of Junkie XL is, again, just 400, 500% superior to what we got with that. If you watch my review of the original theatrical version, I said that that movie was soulless. That is not so here. There is so much heart and so much soul that was put into this movie, all on the back of Ray Fisher's Cyborg. Cyborg character is a metaphor and a representation, typically, when it comes to paraplegics. Someone who has a prosthetic arm or a prosthetic leg, they feel broken, they feel incomplete. And that metaphor is still here, but what this movie represents, and the big takeaway that I got from this movie this time, is that this is about mental health. This is about you feeling that you're broken on the inside, that there's a piece of you missing and you don't know how to deal with that, or you feel like your whole self is broken and you don't feel a part of the big cog that is this grandiose world that we live on. It's about mental health, it's about suicide prevention, and I think that's just so much more powerful than what we got in 2017. Just the lack of soul in that movie. This movie here in 2021 just makes up for it tremendously. There's a line that Cyborg has in this movie that will resonate with me for the rest of my life, and it is so powerful. This movie was made alongside with making donations to the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. The Snyder Cut movement has raised over $500,000 for that organization with their whole campaign of trying to get this movie made. Cyborg says, I am not broken, and I am not alone. And there's so much power behind that, and I wish everyone out there realizes that, who may be feeling like they're broken or that they are alone, that there's no one with them, and maybe they feel like taking their life is the only answer. Maybe hearing that line, maybe watching this movie and watching it from the viewpoint of this is about mental health and you realizing that you are part of a league, you are part of a Justice League, regardless of what your role is, you are a part of it. Maybe that will help you. I hope it does. It's helped me, and I know it's helped other people. For those fans that got to see this movie early, which I am so jealous of. This movie is incredible. It was a masterpiece. It was definitely worth the wait. I will say, if you did not like Man of Steel, and if you did not like Batman v Superman, you are probably not going to like this movie. Maybe it'll increase your liking of the universe, maybe a little bit more, but it is not going to change your mind of thinking, oh my god, we need to see this Snyderverse more. And you're just going to talk shit, which I've been getting for the last 5 years on all of my social media feeds. People posting of how they just hate Zack Snyder for whatever reason. They hate how dark his universe is or his artistic style. That's fine, you can have that opinion. Just keep it to yourself. I don't care. Don't go out of your way to comment on my stuff or post on my walls about how much you hate this universe and how much you hate this movie. I don't care, because this movie was not made for you. It is made for me. It is made for the Snyder Cut movement. It is made for fans of Zack Snyder and Debbie Snyder, and I hope that they feel vindicated. I hope, maybe, that this universe does continue, because it was released a couple months ago of Zack's original plans for Justice League 2 and Justice League 3. Would Warner Brothers go along with that, just with how big this movement was to get this movie made? Who knows? At the time of this recording, they have not announced anything yet. If they announce something today while I'm editing this and posting it on YouTube, I'm going to be pissed off. Because that happened when I was doing my review of the original Justice League last year. When I was editing it and uploading it, it was the day that Zack Snyder announced, hey, the Snyder Cut is actually coming. I want to see it continue. I don't know if that's possible or if it's going to. And we don't know if the cast wants to come back to do it. I know Gal Gadot announced that she is pregnant with her third child. So, I mean, she's going to be off the shelf for a little bit. And Affleck, Zack Snyder, Debbie Snyder, I don't if they have the energy to do it and sign up and they are committed to doing it, awesome, let's do it. But if any one of them are saying it's not for me, or at least I'm done, my mental health, I'm just mentally done, I think we as a Snyder Cut movement need to respect that and kind of sit back, respect this movie, and kind of walk away from it, at least until they maybe come around and maybe eventually want to do it. I hope so, but I'm not gonna try to force anyone to do what they don't want to do. This movie was wonderful. It's magnificent. I'm trying to recover from that little crying spell that I just had, but I don't think it's happening, but that's how powerful this movie was. This is going to be probably one of my favorite movies of the year. It's going to be one of my favorite movies of all time. Just the history and the story behind how this movie was released and how it got made. It's something that has never happened before, and if it's going to happen again, it's probably going to be a very long time for something like this to happen again. People of the Snyder Cut movie should be proud of themselves. I'm proud of them for fighting for justice and for fighting what's right and for allowing an artist to put something out there that represents who they are. That's what art is, an extension of oneself, and for someone to be able to realize that fully and not have to deal with collaborations from producers and studio heads, I think is a triumph. I'm going to give Zack Snyder's Justice League 5 out of 5 Blu-rays.
I think I see blue. He looks glorious.
What a frickin' journey this was. 2013 Man of Steel, 2016 Batman v Superman, a film that just affected me emotionally. I love that movie. Wonder Woman in 2017, and then the whole shitstorm that was Justice League of 2017 and the whole slow release of this movie. What a journey. What a time to be alive. So guys, have you seen Zack Snyder's Justice League? What did you think about it? If you loved it, please comment below. If you didn't like it, keep it to yourself. I don't want to hear it. But seriously, whatever you thought, comment below, let me know what you thought about it. And as always, if you like what you see here, if you like my take on movies, then hit the subscribe button and make sure you hit that bell so you'll know the next time I'm releasing my next movie review. So guys, I will see you next time on the channel, but in the meantime, be well, be good to each other, and go watch a movie. Take care, guys.